So let me tell you about a time that hyper independence led me into debt. Okay, so what really happened was there was this year I needed to move apartments, right? I needed to move like from my present apartment to a different apartment, and I was really excited about it. I had a lot of money saved up. I was going to level up, increase, the appearance of my apartment and all of that. But then, as we already know, right, like moving from one apartment to the other is not usually just about the rent, right? It's almost also about the other things you need to do to make the new house habitable for you. But then there are other things, like for instance, the additional cost of moving my kid from one school, which was in the former apartment region, right, to a new school, which is even a better school. Because now the new school, apart from it being a little bit more expensive, I also had to buy new school uniforms, new books, the whole 9 yards. I had to do all of those things. So it wasn't just about the rent and everything. So I did my cost analysis and I realized that I was going to have to spend a little bit over ₦1 million, which was fine, right? But in the process of getting the new apartment, I ended up spending, like, I realized at some point that, oh my God, this money is not going to be enough. Because now I was doing a lot of things that I didn't really bargain for. Because, initially I was trying to find a house, right? And most of the houses I was being shown, if you know Nigerian agents, you know this story already. Because, like, most of the houses I was being shown were very stupid, ugly houses, right? That you can't live there. You can't live there. And most of these houses were far off the road, which means I would have to drive for extended period of time to get to my new apartment and all of that. So I was really discouraged. I didn't like it. Eventually, I got a house on the side of the road, like on the side of a major access road. Very nice house, at least in terms of basic structure. But this house was a mess. It was horrible. I think the previous tenant was a demon or something, because like the kitchen was horrible, the living room, oh my God, the bedroom, all the walls were like there were whole nail like holes all over the place. And to make matters worse, the kitchen, it felt like someone had been using firewood to cook in the kitchen, because like the place was black, completely black. I didn't know what to do, but then I realized this was going to be my best chance of getting a house, because it was in a very convenient place, good proximity to my kids' new school. It was on the side of the road, so I didn't have to drive through rough roads to get in and out of my apartment. So it was like, I took it. And in the process of taking it, I had to fix up a lot of things. I mean, this is the house right now. It looks pretty nice, right? But back then, I think I'm gonna have to upload some before and after pictures. Like, this house was horrible, so I ended up spending a lot more money than I bargained for on the renovations and everything. And at some point, I was stuck. There was no more money. I mean, I cleaned out all of my accounts. I was not expecting any money very soon, and my kid's tuition was not even paid yet. Now, prior to this time, my mom had asked me to hold some money for her. She needed to keep some money, and she gave it to me. And because I was a trustworthy kid, I had that money fixed up, kept away, eating away. But I knew that I needed money, right? I could have asked her, Mommy, loan me this money, I'll give it back. I mean, you were going to save it anyway, you were going to have it fixed up anyway, right? So, like, why don't I use your money, right? And then I can pay you back when it's time. Or better still, I could have taken that money and used it and replaced it, because she would never have found out. It would have just been a matter of, when it was time for her to get her money back, she got it back. No questions asked, nothing. Guess what I did? So I took my mother's money and I fixed it like she requested. And then I went to one of these loan sharks, right? And I borrowed money off their platforms. The money I borrowed was running into about 500,000. I mean, 500,000 in itself was not a lot of money that I would not be able to pay back. But I guess I did not really check the interest rates. I was very new to this thing. Prior to this time, I wasn't like an active loan taker. So, like, it wasn't until I had already clicked the button that was supposed to get me the loan that I realized, wait a minute, how much did you say I was going to pay back exactly? That money, I am still paying that money. And I think it has taken so much out of me. And I honestly, I have learned my lesson. I will never do this thing again. But then let's get into why I did not ask my mother for help in the first place. And I think when I left my ex and became a single mom, my family was completely against it. They did not want it. And it led me to, have to stand against a lot of my family values, because none of my sisters had done this. My sisters were married, and I was just the only one who had ever found herself in this kind of situation. So it was kind of like, what happened with you? And I'm a very proud person, but I felt so antagonized that I felt the need to isolate myself from my family. So when it was time that I actually did need help, I did not ask for help. Rather, I put myself in danger by, taking a loan from a loan shark, rather than just tell my mother, I need your money, I'll pay you back. She's my mother, even if I never paid her back, right? Like, last she will call my father, and my father will probably pay her the money, right? But I made that mistake. This is a mistake I'm never gonna make again, because like my pride literally led me down a path that I should never have gone on. Like, hyper independence is a horrible thing. This feeling that you should not ask for help when you need it, it's not a good feeling, right? I mean, there were other factors that contributed to me not asking for help, but yeah, that's the summary of it. And now, if I need help, I'm gonna ask for it. Last people will tell me no, but yes, I'll ask for it first. Like, I'll literally just finish all my possible help links before I consider taking a loan from a loan shark, right? So yeah, I mean, the loan is almost completely paid off now, but I still hate that I had to pay that much interest over a 500,000 naira loan, money that I could literally have just taken out of the money my mother asked me to keep, right? So yeah, that's my story.